I'll try to, spread my voice. I think I've got limited time, but I'll try to make it a bit nice and funny. We all have got lots of things in our head, so I'll try my best not to give you too much. I think we've got students from our university here, so we probably know about Kahoot already. So if you have a smartphone, I think all of us have it, you can log on to kahoot.com. So we'll play just a little game first to give you an idea about asylum seekers and refugees. So if you go to kahoot.com, we got a free Wi-Fi though. So. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So. And put the game pin. I'll give it 20 seconds more. Some nice names here.
They're really good.
Yes, you're right. Good.
What's your name?
So what we do?
Wait till for the next instructions.
Play games.
Okay, shall we start? Yes?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. There could be more than one answer for each question, so let's see. Start. Wow. Let's see what was the right answer. Let's see. Wow, Mary, she's on the top. Thank you. So let's see the answers. The question about the second one, the refugees.
All green.
Yeah.
Oh.
But when you think about the UN Convention,
Mary? Well done. Leah, Kay, Elisa, and Emily. Next question. I think this is the last one. True or false?
Oh, mine hasn't. I think my Portuguese not very good enough.
Yay! So let's see who is the winner. Alisa, she's on first place. Mary, she's on second place. Yeah, Tia. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for But just to cheer you up, guys, start my things, it's just something I should start with. So, okay. Well, my presentation is today is about the life of an asylum seeker through the social system in the UK. I can't really put it full size. Let's see. No, it's not possible. It's just going up and up. So anyway, I'll just go through that one. Why I'm here today? To express some view with a. I think someone is on the door. View with the social system in the UK with the asylum seeker. Just to begin with my speech, actually, I prepared it yesterday night. I didn't have time to go through with it today morning because I was in the class. So just to introduce myself, my name is MD. I'm one of the asylum seekers in the UK. So probably by the time you might know who is asylum seeker and who can be a refugee. So to be honest, I don't have any boundaries, just to give you some disclaimer for my presentation today. And looking at you, all of you guys in here, I believe you all are fighters of sociology, and you are fighters in everyday life who is changing the world. So thanks for being here and being for my inspiration today in my first official presentation for Northumbria University. The life of an asylum seeker in the UK, in the social system, it is not really easy, but I do consider myself as a king, and I inherit it inside me. Yes, I am a self-centered king who is trying to make more kings and queens like me, who will be changing the world and who will be changing the law. So, yet to be known by others, just to make it clarified, I'm confident being an unknown king, and I believe I'm the prettiest man in this. No, actually. All of you smile reminds me, yes, I can go forward and be there for people. And I also think I'm one of the most charismatic young men in this community in Newcastle. Let's get out of this reality, of this dream of mine, get back to the reality. So I work for 9 organizations at the moment. As you know, as an asylum seeker, I cannot work, so I do volunteer. So I recently, just last year, I've got scholarship in the Northumbria University to study higher education as an asylum seeker, which is I'm really grateful to Northumbria University. And I'm going to study law this year. I'm doing foundation year, which is going through. It's a bit boring anyway, but I'm being honest with you. I have to work hard, I think. Is something in my presentation I will follow out today, that how I was fighting against oppressions and injustice through the social system of UK, and how it is impacting my personal life, and how it can be impacting the whole asylum seekers and refugees' life, family life in the UK. I would request beginning of my presentation. I've talked too much, but I haven't started yet. It's just clarify you a couple of things, that who is an asylum seeker and who is who is a refugee. The people who seek refuge in safe country is an asylum seeker, someone like me. And every year we got millions of people seeking asylum throughout the world. A refugee, who is generally speaking is a displaced person who has been forced to cross national boundaries and cannot return home safely, and been given humanitarian protections under UNHCR or by under-articulate. So there is a difference between an asylum seeker and the refugee. A refugee has the right as normal as like a British citizen in this country, but if you are an asylum seeker, you are being barred from so many stuff. So I was being asked to share my experience through my journey. I wouldn't mind to tell you about it, but I would say that I was a victim of modern day slavery and trafficking. If you don't know about it, you have Mr. Google, so please try it. Next thing is, when I was rescued, I was confined 6 months in a house. When I was rescued, I found myself that I need education. I want to do something for this community. Then I thought, well, I should apply for university because this is one of my dreams. So what happened next? Something happened next. It was something I never thought about, that in my journey it will be so nice and wonderful. I would like to thank UK actually, because we all heard about so many problems. I will talk about some sort of positive things about being an asylum seeker in the UK today. And also there will be some suggestions for our social workers in Northeast, and also some requests for you guys, not an advice, because I'm just a new student. I'm just beginning of my journey. So in 2018, when I applied for Teesside University, I got a place in Teesside, and then I got something from Home Office which said study ban. Does anyone heard about it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, a couple of people, but do you know, if you have been told that you can't go back, let's say when you are in university or in college, and you've been told the very next day you can't really go back to education, how do you feel? I think this is one of the basic human rights of people, that they should get education. So I was being told by Home Office, you got study ban, you cannot study because you're an asylum seeker. My mom used to taught me that this is your basic human rights: education, shelter, food, and clothing. So I was a bit lucky. I got someone to challenge this kind of decision against Home Office. I was in London, to be honest, by challenging this kind of stuff against me in the court, and I was in front of the judge on the witness box, where you oath. Probably if you are a social worker in future, you'll see lots of these things happening in the court. The Home Office spokesperson came. He was a senior case worker, not to criticize his roles, but the judge was asking him that why this man on this side cannot study. The Home Office spokesperson says, we need 2 more months to give you answer. That was the system we are going through. So the judge got furious. He just gave me study bail. And once you get study conditions, like you can study, by the time I got the study bail conditions, I literally lost the deadline of my scholarship in Teesside in 2018. So I couldn't study that year. So that was something I didn't expect, but my journey continues. I run a campaign with MHAF, which is Migration Asylum Justice Forum in the Northeast, that Newcastle, Northumbria, and other universities should give us some scholarship. To be honest with you, you guys might be thinking that why should we give this kind of asylum seekers some scholarship to study? These are the brains you can use. We are short of in the places like nurses, NHS, engineering stuff, lots of things. There's people inside this country already. You can give them some education, which is England or United Kingdom is very proud for, to spread education all over the world. And that comes back to sociology as well, that if you give us education, obviously you're going to pay me to do jobs, but I will do something for this community. I'll try to be there for my community. So I run a campaign with MHAF after that, and that results 5 scholarships in Northumbria, my own university now, and 3 scholarships this year for Newcastle University for asylum seekers only, because we don't have access to public funds. So that was one of the achievements which has been done through that campaign last couple of years. But with the Home Office, I did something bit naughty, you can say. When they refused my, study conditions, I win in the court. I literally took Home Office to judicial review because I lost my scholarship. And Home Office couldn't give me an answer. At the end, Home Office asked me, we give you legal aid money back, please go away. And I said, no, I'm not taking this money back, because even if you give me this legal aid money back, that will be going back to legal aid, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So what's the point to have that money back? I know this is taxpayers' money I'm spending at the moment, but obviously when I'm going to do my job, I'll pay back. So anyway, I said, no, I'm not having that money back. And then Home Office offered me, what do you want? Because it was going in a massive level in the court. So I told them literally, you have to change this law. Since 2018, May, there is a study ban for all asylum seekers in this country for higher education. Even someone is providing them the money to study or anything. Let's say you got a friend who is asylum seeker, he wants to study in university, but there is a study ban. You cannot really give him money to study as well. So I literally changed that law by the time in 2015 May, and bound the Home Office to change that law. After my case, it was established that all the new asylum seekers will be able to study in the UK, and that was it is available in Immigration Bail Act 2.0 May 2018. So that was been done, but after that I got this 8 scholarship established in the Northeast. Now I run a sort of society in the Northumbria University, which is University of Sanctuary Society, where I have around a bunch of refugees and asylum seekers coming in a conversation group. I make sure that legacy of this, scholarship continues to the universities, because in some point, I don't know if there is any officials from the university, but probably next year they will come back and say, oh sorry, we don't have that much fund, we cannot give you 5 scholarships, stuff like this, but I'm not gonna continue with that. So my legacy, my society will ensure there is a scholarship on place for people like me. Coming back to the social life, I had a very good experience in family court, so I thought I should sort of express my views about it, how social services is working in the place. There's a couple of recommendations I would say, that some thought and request through my case study to the social services, that every person, even he's an asylum seeker, I think he's a human or she's a human, has the right to be there for their children. We all agree about it? Yes? Yes? Okay. It's a silent yes, I take it. Be there for their welfare. And I would say, please talk to their parents before making any assumptions to save you time when you are in work. Asylum seekers have the same sense of love, affection, and care of heart for their children. Put yourself in that situation before you pass any comments. Why I say these kind of things? It sounds a bit harsh, but for me, I thought it is quite important to pass this message to you guys, because someone of you will be social worker very soon. Someone of us is already been in social work systems. Someone of us will already know the social systems already. As David is here, he's been in the social system for a long time. There's a couple of misconceptions the social workers sometimes bear in their mind. I'm not blaming all of us. First thing is, through my experience, I would say the first thing the social worker thinks, that because I want to see my children and I'm an asylum seeker, I'm doing it to sort out my immigration. Does everyone understand that phrase? Okay. Just to clarify that fact that a social worker covers everything, they have that power, as David told us, you have that power to do things like these. But there is Home Office for that, to determine that fact. There is the judge in the court is there to determine that fact. Your little comment about this immigration status in the court makes a very big difference for someone's life and in someone's family. In the court, I remember I was answering to the judge that if you think I'm doing it for immigration purpose, let's say my little one, who is here, you can see, only 3 years old, if he became a Prime Minister of UK after 20 years, and he asked you specifically and the social service of this area that my dad was been there for me, why you didn't let him to see me? What will be your answer? Please put yourself in the situation of that person before passing any comments, but because that makes a huge difference in the court. Every father, every mother in this room, you will be mother or will be father in future, has the right to be with their children. So please, I would request everyone, whenever you do your social work in future, bear that in mind, that we are human too. The second thing is, there's a famous misconceptions, I think David will know about it. When a social worker make reports, section 8, some other sections I forgot, they mentioned that the housing where the parents are living or fathers or mothers are living is not suitable for the children. So I had a question that there is around 30, nearly 40 to 50,000 people living in the accommodation of home office. Home office actually covers everything in this country. So passing that comment from your side, this is not suitable for yourself. There is thousands of families, asylum seekers families, living in these houses with their children. So how can you judge this kind of stuff, saying that this accommodation is not suitable for children? So please, think about it, because these kind of little stuffs, we don't challenge in the court to the social worker, and they get away of it because court doesn't have that much time, so we cannot challenge it. But you will get it very soon, near soon, because the people like me will be studying law, will be challenging you for this kind of stuff. So be prepared for it before you pass these kind of comments. People are staying in these houses for a long time, and if you are saying that this is not suitable for the children, it just doesn't make any sense. So please make sure you know what you are saying in the court, whenever you go. And as I said, have some time. I know social workers are extremely busy. There's a lot of pressure for them, but it will be great for them to have some time. Talk to the parents, talk to the father, speak to the mother, and then find out what is happening. Your one word in the statement, in the court, makes big difference. And that changes people's lives. So I thought this kind of couple of things, I would just say that to you. So the next thing is, what is happening with me now. I'm studying in the Northumbria University at the moment, and I would like to thank Miss Sophia, Miss Ruth, and one of my favorite person, Miss Katherine. My inspiration is my favorite person, Rosie Tapsfield, Venessa ma'am, and City of Sanctuary, for bringing me here today, because I was waiting, in the family court through that process. I was waiting, one day I will get all the social workers in one place. And I will pass this message to them. That time I was in the mood to fight, but not now. Anyway, but something happened good. I keep seeing my son. They helped me a lot. I'm not passing that, sort of negative messages. The positive message is social workers are there for you, but the system is now so squeezed with the time frame. They're very busy. They don't want to know that, and to escape that route, they just make some decisions themselves, and that affects people's lives. Sometimes, this kind of stuff. What I would say, makes very big difference in people's life. Like, what would I say? I'll just close it anyway. People get mental health problems. Just to give you an example, I think Miss Katherine has talked about it. Whenever you don't see your children, you get mental health problems. So the ultimate pressure, as you know, asylum seekers get free health stuff from NHS. So if I get mental health problems, I'll go to NHS. So they will have to have a mental health consultant for me, medication, blah, blah, lots of these things. So you are literally putting your pen on the paper and putting the government and the taxpayer money in risk, if you think about it in the long term. And sometimes people do suicide as well. There's a lot of cases, but it doesn't come outside. So in conclusion, I would say that change is happening. I would say the change is on you guys actually, which is here on inside you. So you have to change your mind whenever you do it, whenever you're being with the people, because it's a big job. Social workers covers everything in this world. And I would say the famous word from my mom, that be there for your community, be there for your people, no matter what, something good will happen in return. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.